Hi my friends, it's Eliza and this is part 2 of my miscarriage and endometriosis story. Thank you for coming back, but if you haven't seen that video yet of part 1, please pause this and go to that video first, and then you guys can come back and see the rest of the video. Another thing that I forgot to mention in the last video was what PCOS and endometriosis is. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges. Endometriosis, a disorder in which the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside the uterus. With endometriosis, the tissue can be found on the ovaries, fallopian tubes, or the intestines. That is what polycystic ovarian syndrome is, and endometriosis. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is also known as PCOS, so I'll be referring to PCOS throughout the video. So the reason it's important is because my doctors did believe I had PCOS. However, after other tests, and since I have a regular period, they didn't really think that. June 10th, before surgery. So this is me when I was already admitted, and they gave me this cute little red cap. I've never seen one. They also gave me this mask to wear. I brought in my own, and the nurse said I can listen to music to calm down, so that was very, very helpful, and it really did help me calm down. June 10th, after surgery.
Okay, so I probably don't make sense. I'm at Walmart pharmacy right now. My husband's getting my medications, and I did have endometriosis. They found a lot of endometriosis tissue, and when I woke up I was in a lot of pain, but at the same time I feel like a lightness, not necessarily from the pain meds, but like even when I was in pain, I have this lightness feeling. So anyways, I wanted to share that. I'm okay, I survived, I'm alive. So we left off with that horrible doctor, and she just disregarded everything I had to say, what my plans for my future were. She just didn't want to hear what I had to say at the time, and it was very difficult hearing that, because I kind of grew up thinking that all doctors are right, and I really respect what doctors do and respect their opinion. And for someone to say, well, then you can just die, and especially somebody with mental illness, she knew that I had PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and she still said that to me. And that really, really hurt me. So I refused to go to the doctor whatsoever, although I do take medication for anxiety and other things. I just refused. I did not care. I was just going to deal with my anxiety by myself. However, last year I ended up having a terrible anxiety attack and had to replan and get a new doctor and therapist and all that fun stuff. I made an appointment with a new primary care doctor, Dr. H, which she is super amazing and super sweet, and just made me feel really comfortable with what my plans for my future were. I made an appointment with her, and shortly after I had another miscarriage in September 16, 2019, and I let her know about the miscarriage, and she also scheduled an appointment for a pap smear. I had an appointment for a pap smear on November 2019. However, during my appointment, my doctor noticed that I was bleeding when she was examining me. I wasn't nervous, since she really helped me through that. However, she noticed that I was bleeding. And so when she was collecting the sample, most of the sample that she ended up getting was blood. So I actually had to go in for a second appointment in December and redo the pap smear. However, I was okay with it since she was very polite. She really walked me through everything and answered all of my questions. So I really appreciated that from Dr. H, that she really helped me understand why she wanted to do certain things. So then Dr. H received back my results for my pap smear and found out everything was normal. And the next plan was to get blood work done, and I had a full workup done. Also, she checked my hormone levels, my thyroid, and when she received the results back, everything came out normal. I didn't have high cholesterol, I don't have diabetes, I didn't have any other issues. Then Dr. H ended up ordering me to get an ultrasound and a vaginal ultrasound. And I ended up going and doing that in one nearby hospital. So there again, the staff was amazing. A gentleman ended up doing my ultrasound and was very respectful and brought in another woman to come in to make me feel more comfortable during the vaginal part of the ultrasound. They took pictures and they ended up taking that to a specialist. So my doctor had told me that she was gonna send me to the specialist after the ultrasound, and she did. I made an appointment with Dr. W. When I met Dr. W, she was again very professional, very understanding of me having a little bit of anxiety, and I let her know what my concerns were. I also let Dr. W know that I believe that I probably have PCOS. However, I do have a monthly period, and that's what Dr. H thought as well, that I had PCOS. However, Dr. W did not believe I had PCOS since I had a regular period every month. And I let her know that I do track my period, and I have been doing it for, I would say, 4 to 5 years. So I also let Dr. W know that I thought that I might have endometriosis, and she agreed with me. And the only way to get diagnosed with endometriosis is to actually have a laparoscopy surgery. So that's where, like, pretend this is your head and your stomach. So, and here's your belly button. So they cut you here and they put in a camera in your stomach, and it's kind of an experimental surgery. So pretty much they check your stomach and well, not your stomach, but they check your uterus area and see if there's any endometrial tissue. In June, I got scheduled for my laparoscopy surgery for endometriosis. And just in case any of you are going to have that surgery soon, you do have to have a COVID test before you can have your surgery. So they ended up doing a COVID test, and that's where, like, they stick up the swab in here and check if they get the sample and then check if you've had COVID or have COVID, and I did not. So then we went ahead and did the surgery, but before the surgery, I had to be completely isolated. Thankfully, I only live with my husband. Surgery day. So I actually had to go in by myself. My husband was not allowed to come in with me because we're in a pandemic, so I had to do everything by myself. And the nurse was kind enough to let me have my phone, and I asked if I can put on my earphones, and she let me. And so I just changed into a gown, and before having surgery, I ended up going into another room, and I got to see my anesthesia the person that gives me anesthesia, and seeing my my surgeon, Dr. W. So Dr. W ended up walking me through the whole thing and let me know that I would have an incision on my belly button again. And before then, I had also mentioned to her if about my family history. I let her know that my biological mother and her mother both have had cancer, and my grandmother actually has currently terminal cancer. So if she did find cancer, that I would prefer if she removed my uterus. However, she said it looked pretty great, so she wasn't really worried about that, but pretty much they were going to kind of fill me up with gas, and that's why I looked a little extra swollen, and I was super bloated for up to like right now. I was super swollen. So they put some type of gas in me, and they cut a slit on my stomach. I talked again to the surgeon, not the surgeon, the anesthesia. I ended up talking again to the person that gives me anesthesia. Don't know why I can't say that, but I also talked about my concerns. I was concerned because I'm overweight, I am 330 pounds, that if the anesthesia, I was afraid of waking up or anything like that, and they let me know that it's very custom to depending on the patient. So some people need more, some people need less, and that they would customize it to me. I let them know that I was really scared, really nervous, and the person that gives me anesthesia, he ended up telling me that they were going to he was going to give me some medication. You can see my hand is still bruised for some reason, and you can see the little dot right here. So they ended up putting an IV in here, and he told me he was gonna give me some medication so that I wouldn't be in much pain, because I was on my period during my surgery. So which I mentioned to my doctor as well, and they said that actually was better because she was going to be able to see my endometriosis a lot better. All of a sudden I felt like, I didn't feel woozy, I just felt like my period pain wasn't that bad. So I ended up asking him, did you already give me that medication? And he did. He had already put it in my IV and I didn't even realize it. And we ended up going into, I was in the pre-op room, and we ended up going into the surgery room, and it was just it looked like a regular doctor's office room. It had the lights, but the lights weren't turned on, just the regular room lights, not the surgical lights. And they ended up moving me from one cot to another and let me know that they were going to give me oxygen. So they put the oxygen on me, and they told me, okay, we're going to put some oxygen on you, and soon you'll fall asleep. And I was thinking they were only going to give me oxygen at that time, that I wasn't ready for surgery yet. So I ended up breathing the oxygen once and then twice, and I was out. And I did not wake up. I didn't feel anything. It was kind of instant. I usually tend to dream and have long dreams, but I didn't dream at all. I just felt like all of a sudden I was in that surgery room, and then I was in the post-op room. It just felt like a blink of an eye, really. And I woke up and I'm like, I'm in pain. And the nurse let me know that I had just had surgery, and I was very aware that I had had surgery, but I was in pain. So I did want to share that with you guys, because a lot of the videos that I saw mentioned that it wasn't that bad, that they felt a lot better, and I did in a way, but I was in a lot of pain. And I did have three surgery scars versus having just one on my belly. And that's one difference between me and some of the other videos that I've seen. And I think that I deal with pain relatively pretty well, but also I can focus when I'm in pain a little bit more. So the nurse told me, we already called your husband, he's on his way, you're okay, but we can't let you go until you're not in pain. So I'm like, okay, okay, I'm fine. And I just kept crying. But soon after, she gave me more medication and I ended up calming down a little bit. And shortly after, my surgeon, Dr. W, ended up coming back into the room and letting me know that the surgery went well. It was very routine. However, they did find a lot of endometrial tissue, so I was diagnosed with endometriosis. Then I ended up going home, and on my way home, that's when I showed you guys that video. And I did feel, although I was still on my period, I felt lighter. And just because during my regular period I usually feel like so much pain and swelling all over my body, and although I was swollen from the air inside me, I didn't feel that same pain that I always have during my period. So I think that's what a lot of the women refer to as they felt a lot better after surgery. So I did have that feeling too, and my period didn't feel as bad as it usually feels, but I did have a lot of stomach pain. One thing I also wanted to mention to you guys is if you are going to have this surgery, please eat light. I didn't do so. I was starving when I got out of my surgery, and I told my husband, you better get some barbecue from this one place right after surgery, because I'm gonna eat that. It's from a really good barbecue place, especially since I didn't have surgery in the same city I live in. And like, it's so good. You better buy me that, and I want this and that, and you better get it for me. And because I ended up having surgery around, I think, gosh, I don't even remember, but it was past 2. Yeah, around 2 is when I had my surgery, and then I got out by 4. I'm coming home, eating ribs, and it was really good, and I had no issues. I didn't feel nauseous or anything. However, then night hit, and so my husband helped me to the bed, and all of a sudden I just had to throw up, and I literally threw up so bad. Like, I've never thrown up like that. Like, and I had also just taken the pain meds because the medication that they had given me was wearing off, and I just ended up throwing up literally everything I ate or drank, and it was really bad. So I just wanted to give you a warning on that, guys. I ended up only eating soup for like 2 or 3 days afterwards because I had to keep it very light. So just warning, listen to your doctor when they say keep it light, because it was awful. I'd say over a week I've had a little bit of pain. I still have a little bit of pain when I'm sitting. I'm about to sit down or stand up, but other than that, it's not that bad anymore. I'm okay, and also for the most part I've been okay with just taking Tylenol or ibuprofen. I haven't really had to take anything more than that. I'm still at home. I still have to wait. I have an upcoming appointment next week where I will follow up with my surgeon, and she'll let me know how I'm doing. But I think I'm doing pretty well. Nothing is red or looks swollen, and I'll show you guys that really quick. Okay, so I'm healing a lot better now, but I had an incision here on my belly, one right here and one right here. Most of the bruising is gone because it was really bruised all over my stomach and down my stomach, and this was like completely bruised. And yeah, so that's how my stomach looks. It's not that bad anymore. It looks a lot better, and my entire belly button was all bruised up. So yeah. Okay guys, so I hope you liked my video and what I had to say. I hope that will help you guys, and I hope you don't have to go through any of this, but if you do, I'm here for you. I know how difficult this road can be, and there's not really a way to explain it unless you've actually gone through it. So be kind, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below if you've ever dealt with anything like this before, or if you have any more questions for me. Also, you can follow me on Instagram under Elisa Brad, or TikTok under Elisa Brads. Again, please don't forget to be kind, and I will see you guys later. Bye.